Hi, this is Rabbi Donn, the vegan rabbi, and I want to share with you a Devar Torah that took me over a decade to develop. And it's how the Torah ingeniously deals with a person who's filled with rage and passion. So we have a very famous law called Eshet Yifat Toar. It's when a man is at war and he's been killing and burning and stomping, and in the midst of all that mayhem, he sees a beautiful woman and he desires her. The Torah says you are allowed to take her, but there is a process that she has to stay in your house and mourn her parents for 30 days. She has to wear clothes and garments of mourning and take off her makeup. And after that time, if you have still decided that you desire her, you can take her as a wife. What immediately follows in the Torah is the portion about a man having two wives. One is beloved, one is despised. And immediately after that is another portion which discusses what's called the Ben Sorer Umora, a wayward son who is so wild and crazy that the courts have to wind up killing him. Now, although the Torah allows the individual to take this woman, the rabbis are clear that this is not a good idea. That is like striking the first domino of misfortune and winding up with a succession of eventual events that will disrupt and destroy this person's life. The portion about two wives, one being beloved, one despised, refers to taking that woman that you saw in captivity, and having a wayward son is the result of having a child with that woman. So the rabbis are clear. This is a very, very bad decision. We don't want you making it. But if you do, you're going to suffer the consequences. The question is, why does the Torah allow it? Why does the Torah give permission for this human who is consumed with passion? Why does it allow them to take this woman? Because what would have happened if the Torah disallowed it? Rape. That is what has happened throughout history in war. The Germans did it to the Russians. The Japanese did it to the Chinese. Every culture has done it, and it has happened throughout history. But the Torah says no. You may have killed, you may have burnt, you may have looted, but you cannot become a monster. It takes a torch and puts it to the deepest crevices of a human heart and lights it up and says, I will not allow you to be inhuman. And what the Torah does is actually gives human rights. It gives this woman who has no chance, and no woman in war has ever had a chance of survival and of human rights, but the Torah champions her and says, I give her human rights. And by allowing the person to have legal recourse to take her as his wife, it gives him time to reconsider and to normalize his blood levels and to re-engage his neocortex to say, you know, this probably is not the best idea. I probably better not do this, but I had time to think about it, as opposed to like a child in a candy store. If you tell them, no, you cannot have the candy, they're going to take the candy and have a tremendous tantrum. Whereas if you say, well, I'll tell you what, I'll get the candy, and if you clean up your room or do your homework or do X, Y, or Z, then I'll give you the candy, then you have a child that you can deal with. So by saying yes, but the Torah employs an ingenious technique to give human rights to this woman. We have another Torah law. A person is in a field swinging an axe, and the axe head flies off and strikes another man and kills him. It's called Goel Hadam, the blood redeemer. The law is that the son or the child of the killed person can go hunt down this accidental murderer and kill them. Take revenge. Is this what a Jewish boy does? Is this what we want for our society, taking revenge? Is this what the Torah enables us to do? But again, what would have happened if the Torah said, no, you have no recourse? They would have gone and killed and taken revenge. But now, the Torah says, yes, but there is a sequence of laws that you have to take into account. The person can run away to a city of refuge. If you find them inside the city, you can't, they're not fair game, but if they step outside, they are. There's a certain amount of time. There are laws. And once this grieving child takes account of the laws and knows that they have recourse, their blood will calm down, their passion will lower, and they'll once again begin to think with a straight head, and they'll say, you know what, it was accidental. Really, I should not seek revenge because it's just going to create a cycle of revenge. We'll have the Wild West going on here, the Earps and the Clantons, and once again, they will resume a peaceful life. But if we gave them no recourse, and we said, you can't touch them, we would have the exactment of revenge, and it would become the cycle of revenge that would continue infinitum. There's another law in the Torah, and it's when a woman is suspected by her husband of being unfaithful. What we have and what we've seen throughout history is that the man will kill the woman, he'll kill the woman and himself, he'll kill the woman himself and the lover, but we don't want this. So we tell the man, yes, you have legal recourse. You take her to the Kohen, and the Kohen takes water, takes dirt from the floor, takes the scroll in which God's name was written in, dips it into the water, etc., etc. There is a procedure here, and the Torah specifies the Asalah HaKohen. It's called Dvarim Ha'ela. And the Kohen will do all these things. The man will do nothing. But he does have legal recourse. So the Torah ingeniously, once again, takes somebody who's filled with passion and anger and gives them an action that they can take, but it limits them. And in the hopes and in the design of the passion settling, the reason coming back, and the neocortex once again engaging. I would like to suggest that there is one more area in which the Torah employs the yes, but technique. We know from the Torah that every time meat eating is concerned, the term ta'ava is linked to it. Ta'ava is a deep inner urge. It's a human-based desire. And that means that passion is filled and excitement and craze has gripped the individual. And the Torah says, yes, you can eat meat, but you know what? Here's a stack of books called Yoredeya. They're the law books that have all the laws that you have to read and consider before you're going to eat meat. How you slaughter it, you're not allowed to have it with milk and meat, separate dishes, separate sinks, the works. Consider that, and if you still want to eat meat after that, okay, you can eat meat. But a wise person would think, you know what? The most direct route between 2 points is a straight line. Why do I have to go all around and go through all these things and laws and restrictions, 6 hours, 2 different plates, 2 different sinks, 2 different kitchens, pay quadruple the amount that non-kosher meat is eaten, and also get diseases and maladies? Why don't I just eat pariv? Why don't I just go vegan? Why don't I just eliminate the meat and simplify my life? The hope is that a wise person, will think that and realize that they don't have to go through all of the complexities that have been set up as a barrier to dissuade you from doing that. But we've taken it as a whole Torah and a whole mitzvah and a whole Jewish thing, instead of perhaps what it was meant to do, which was to dissuade us from eating meat. This is Rabbi Donn.